Last day of the camp battle position videos. Also, Quinnen Williams yesterday signing a fat contract. How does that affect Christian Wilkins? Two-part video today. Let's jump into it. What is up, Finn fans? Got a lot to talk about today. We are breaking down safeties, and also we are breaking down the defensive line position in the NFL, looking at all the guys who have gotten paid so far and how that affects Christian Wilkins. Before we jump into all that good stuff, first and foremost, today's the last day for you to sign up for the ticket giveaway. If you'd want to try to win, there's going to be 3 winners. You get 2 tickets to the Falcons-Dolphins preseason game. If you want to be a part of that giveaway, the link is in the description. You got to be a subscriber. You sign up. You give me your name, your email. That's all you got to do. Friday night, I'm going to email you. It might be late because, again, I record these videos kind of late. But I will email you as soon as the winner is announced. And then when you email me back, boom, email you the tickets. And you can go have some fun. One of you guys asked, do you have to live in Florida? No, I don't live in Florida. If you win, you got to get to Florida to go to the game. But no, you don't have to live in Florida to be part of the giveaway. You just got to somehow find your way of getting there. And one other thing I do have to shout out is a new member in Robbie M. Thank you so much for becoming a member. If you'd like to become a member, there's a join button next to the subscribe button. And if you'd like to become a patron, that is linked in the description. You guys get a ton of different content. Difference from Patreon to membership. So if you'd like to join, link is in the description. So with all that out of the way, and I think I did that pretty quick, only about a minute something, we are going to start with Christian Wilkins and the defensive tackles, and then we will go into the safety breakdown. I might even have named this video about Christian Wilkins, and safety is kind of the afterthought because this is kind of important, right? So I busted my hump and I did a lot of research. And not only did I do a lot of research, I broke out my Excel worksheet to give you guys this. Shazam! I'm too short. Let me try and make myself bigger. There you go, right here. So I made this, and essentially you look, and what I did here is to try to give you somewhat of an idea of the money that people are getting and their productivity. And you can see, so we're going to kind of look at it and see where Christian Wilkins falls and kind of what the money he should expect. If not, we should probably offer him. So you could see Quinnen Williams was the one who got the contract yesterday. He got 4 years, $96 million. I don't know. It, as of me recording this, which is 11:42 on Thursday night, I don't know how much he's spread it out through the year. But he got 4 years, $96 million. Then below him is Simmons, who got 4 years, $94 million. Below him is Payne, Darren Payne, 4 years, $90 million. And then Dexter Lawrence, also 4 years, $90 million. Javon Hargraves, 4 years, $84 million. And Ed Oliver, 4 years, $68 million. Now you look at how I did it, right? So the first 4 columns are involved being a pass rusher. And you look at sacks. Well, Quinnen Williams, 12 sacks. That's why he's getting paid the most. Then you have Jeffrey Simmons, who's getting 7.5 sacks. Darren Payne, who got 11.5 sacks. Dexter Lawrence, I almost said Trevor Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence, 7.5 sacks. Javon Hargraves, 11 sacks. Ed Oliver, only 2.5 sacks, but he did only play 13 games. And then Christian Wilkins, 3.5 sacks. So you see the huge disparity, right? You got 12 sacks, 11.5 sacks, and 11 sacks. Kind of the 3 different tiers of those defensive linemen. And then you have Christian Wilkins at 3.5 sacks. You have pressure on the quarterback. Quinnen Williams, 52. Simmons, 53. Payne, 49. Dexter Lawrence, 63. Hargraves, 57. Ed Oliver, 31. Christian Wilkins, 30. You have hits on the quarterback. Quinn Williams, 14. Simmons, 7. Payne, 10. Lawrence, 22. That's got to start to translate to sacks for him. Hargraves, only 6. Ed Oliver, 11. Christian Wilkins, 3. And then when it comes to hurries on the quarterback, you have Quinn Williams, 25. Simmons, 38. Payne, 27. Lawrence, 32. Hargraves, 40. Ed Oliver, 16. And Christian Wilkins, 12. So if I had to kind of place him into a spot when it came to production as a pass rusher, I put him right above Ed Oliver. And barely, because Ed Oliver has more hits and one more pressure but less hurries. So I'd put him right above Ed Oliver, who got 4 years, $68 million. But, and again, big, fat, ugly, pimpled but, let's look at the run-stopping aspect of being a defensive lineman. You have Williams, who, with tackles on, this is just for run-stopping, 28, Simmons 19, Payne 32, Lawrence 41, Hargraves 27, Oliver 22, Christian Wilkins 56. The closest is Dexter Lawrence, who was still 15 away from Christian Wilkins. And then you have run stopping. You have Williams at 18, Simmons at 17, Payne at 28, Lawrence at 28, Hargraves and Oliver at 15, and you have Christian Wilkins at 45. Now, when it comes to the run stopping, I'm putting Christian Wilkins number 1. And that's kind of where the thought process of what is he going to command? What is his thought process on what he's going to get when you look at how big the disparity is between his pass rush ability and his run stop ability? Because you look at guys like Dexter Lawrence, he's kind of even keeled when it comes to his pass rushing ability and his run stopping ability, right? 41 tackles, 28 stops. That's pretty good. 7.5 sacks, 63 pressures, 22 hits, 32 hurries. That's pretty good. That's pretty average there. Whereas Christian Wilkins is so lopsided with his run being so good, but his pass rush not being great there. So to me, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, right, and I've talked about this before, I'm looking more at Ed Oliver's contract, and I'm looking at that thought process, right? Because he got 4 years, $68 million. Let me get rid of this. I'll minimize myself so you guys can see what I'm looking at right now. So Ed Oliver here, he got 4 years, $68 million. He got a signing bonus of $4.7 million. Average salary $17 million. Total guarantee is $45.2 million. I would love this contract. Maybe give him a little more. Maybe, give him more incentive. Give him more money. I would love this contract for Christian Wilkins. Cap hit now, it would drop him down from being $10 million on the cap down to about $5 million on the cap. Again, that's where the signing bonus comes in. Then next year he's going to make $9.2 million. Not as bad. In 2025, when we get rid of some more contracts, get more cap space, that's where he comes up and gets the big money, the $20 million that he's probably looking for. And then again, if he doesn't continue to produce, you can move on from him after 2025 and save a boatload of money. So again, and I've talked about this before, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I look at his productivity not only in the rush, but in the run stopping, but also you have to take into account of the team player he is, and on the field and off the field, and how good he is in the locker room and how good he is for the team. And you take that into consideration. But I really love looking at Ed Oliver's contract, and that's kind of the contract I would give Christian Wilkins. Give him about $18 million a year average, give him a little bit more than Ed Oliver got. Because to me, you look at his pass rush ability and his run stopping, and to me that's kind of where he falls when it comes to these contracts that we got. A little bit above Ed Oliver, below Hargraves, and I think he'd be happy. But that's just me. Comment below, let me know what you think. What do you think he should get? And let's start talking about safeties. We're going to talk about safeties now. Let's just pop it up. These are your DBs. Now, on the Miami Dolphins website, it just says DBs. These guys are probably going to... I've heard Keon Crossan Actually, no, I've heard Trill Williams is working at safety. Keon Cross and Elijah Campbell, very good special teamers. Also, probably going to be that rotational guys back at the safeties and up front with the corners. But you got Elijah Campbell, you got Keon Cross in. Then you have the legit safeties that are named safeties on the roster. Sean Elliott, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Ron McKinley III, Keydron Smith, and Bennett Williams. So real quick, I'm just going to run down the names I said, kind of tell you more about them, and talk about where the battle ensues, because there actually is a very good battle for safety opposite of Javon Holland. So you have Elijah Campbell, who we picked up off of we picked up off of waivers. This is what happens when this goes quicker than this. Just from the Jets in 2021, September of 2021. And then you have Keon Crossan, who we signed in free agency 2022. Both of these guys, Keon Crossan's a very good special teamer, but I will say this. If they cut Keon Crossan, say he doesn't make the roster when we get down to 53, or, hey, we need a little bit of money here and there, if they cut him, it's a $3.1 million savings. So say, and again, I know some of you guys are sick. Actually, you know what? Say, because I was going to name that people are like, oh, stop talking about him. Say we want to go for Akeem Hicks or Quan Alexander or Anthony Barr, or, we want to add some depth in certain situations, and we need just a little bit of change. You could probably move on from Keon Cross and use that $3.1 million to give some depth at the defensive line or in the linebacker position. But again, both of these guys, Elijah Campbell and Keon Crossan, are good special teamers, and those are good to have. Especially, you watch the Ravens game. I think the first kick, taking back for a touchdown, you put yourself in a hole. You want to have those good special teamers out there. Then we're looking at the safeties. You have Deshaun Elliott. He played with Brandon Jones at Texas. Big thumper. We signed him in free agency. He was with Detroit last year. His tackling ability, huge, just absolutely huge. His tackling grade on PFF, 84.1. He's a very average safety, right? He was with Baltimore before the Detroit Lions. Again, to me, he's a thumper. He's going to run down, make the tackle, kind of try to get that ball out type of safety. Again, he has that familiarity working with Brandon Jones because they both went to Texas at one point at the same time. Then you have Javon Holland. I talked about Javon Holland yesterday when I was talking about how the NFL sees the Miami Dolphin defense. 5th ranked by executive coaches, players, and scouts. Javon Holland, love the kid. He's due for a contract soon as well. Going to be a stud for us and a corner piece of that defense. Then you have Brandon Jones, a former 3rd-round pick for us out of Texas, like I said, with Deshaun Elliott. We drafted him. He was dealing with some type of injury. I think it was a leg injury. Now, again, coming off of an injury. To me, Brandon Jones is a very good tackler and a very good blitzer. You can even see that in his PFF grades. If you like that, again, PFF is very subjective. Sometimes their grades are good, and sometimes their grades that don't make any sense to me. But when it comes to Brandon Jones, his pass rush ability, his tackling, it's very high, but his coverage is not good. And you've seen it when you kind of try to drop him back into coverage and cover either tight ends or running backs. He kind of struggles there. He got better, though, with his reception percentage. It was high his first 2 years, around 80%, dropped down to about 72%. It's still not good, but it's getting a little better. And then you got Ron McKinley, who played with Javon Holland at Oregon. Ron McKinley, another guy who came in this past offseason, last year's draft, undrafted free agent. Really like the way he came in. Again, these 4 guys in Deshaun Elliott, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, and Ron McKinley, they know each other. Not only did they go to college with each other, 2 of them on either side, but they know each other. They're comfortable with each other. And Ron McKinley did come in and he played some games. He took some snaps at some point, at some parts. He did all right. He didn't do too bad. He wasn't targeted much. He was targeted 3 times. He allowed 1 reception for 7 yards. It wasn't bad. He had 1 interception, but he came in, especially with Brandon Jones going down. And then you have Keydron Smith and Bennett Williams. Both guys are undrafted free agents. To me, the competition and the big competition is who's going to be the starting safety opposite of Javon Holland. Is it going to be Brandon Jones or is it going to be Deshaun Elliott? So funny, former college teammates competing against each other. Brandon Jones was the guy in Brian Flores' system that would kind of play up at the line and blitz, and he was very good at that. Again, his best year was 2021 when he was able to get after the quarterback and really, play that line of scrimmage. Deshaun Elliott kind of has that same ability, that same, thumper, run, downfield, make the tackle when he needs to. Style of play. So it's like, to me, it's between those two guys, Brandon Jones, Deshaun Elliott. Who's going to be opposite of Javon Holland? But I will say this about Vic Fangio: he loves his safeties. So at one point, you might see three of these guys out there. You might see Deshaun Elliott, Javon Holland, and Brandon Jones out there at the same time. And then guys like Elijah Campbell, Kieran Crossan, if they do make the roster, it'll probably be a special team situation. And Keydron Smith and Bennett Williams, I don't really necessarily see them making the roster. Maybe practice squad guys, or they might shine. They might come out of nowhere, like Kieran Crossan kind of did that, and some other undrafted free agents, Cater Kohu did. So you never know. But to me, the biggest storyline is Brandon Jones and Deshaun Elliott and Veron McKinley. Who's going to be opposite of Javon Holland, and then who's just going to back him up? So comment below. Let me know what you guys think. That is it for the camp battle position videos. We made it Monday the 17th. Do we get an update on Dalvin Cook? Probably not. Again, don't think like June 1st it's going to be an instant thing where all of a sudden he's like, all right, like he's going to LeBron it and go into a flipping school gym and make his announcement that he's going somewhere. But maybe we'll get some more clarity. I'm hearing things about Saquon Barkley's contract. I'm hearing that Josh Jacobs is not going to go to training camp unless he gets a long-term contract. A lot of things are going. A lot of things are happening. Things are going to start picking up steam this next week because the rookie's going to arrive Tuesday. The GMs are going to be there. They're going to start to do their things, try to make the moves. And also, don't forget, when they have to cut down from 90 to 53, it's a big cut. And all of a sudden, the free agency pool is going to get swarmed and waivers and all that stuff. So Dolphins might be able to grab somebody good. But that's a video I'm going to talk about in itself. But other than that, I will see you guys Monday. Again, last day to sign up for tickets. If news happens or breaking news happens or I find something interesting like last weekend, I might make a video for you guys tomorrow. But I'll definitely see you guys Monday. And then Tuesday, the rookies arrive. But like usual, stay classy. And Fins out.